Okay, in this one,
Sir, you didn't give me the marks for the second paper.
it's
Now
with
what,
me.
what?
It's with me. I have checked, marked, but I did not count the total. So I just need time to add the total. Okay, figures. Yeah, it was good. Figure 5.2 shows a structure of a compound B. Compound B can be polymerized. Draw two repeat units of the polymer when compound B is polymerized. First, how you will know? Because there's a double bond, so it must be addition polymerization. Okay. Yeah. Whenever you see a double bond. Now, what you have to do, you have to just rearrange the structure. Like C double bonded with C. One is a yeah. One is chlorine is there, so you write Cl. One is a hydrogen, you write H. Then H. This carbon is having hydrogen, so you put hydrogen. And then CH3 is drawn sideways, but you will not draw sideways, you will draw at the bottom. So you always leave the things like around the double bond. Either the branches should be up, like attached atoms should be up or down, not the side.
Sir, I did this, you got both of them.
You will show me again, I will tell the mistakes.
Hey,
you did not do this.
draw the double bond, single
I
bond.
did. Yeah, I will show that. Don't worry. So see whenever you draw a polymer, you draw the same structure, but without a double bond. This is a one unit.
Then you draw the second.
This is a second unit.
No.
No need, only two units they ask. And then link them together. You're not supposed to put a bracket or write N. Whenever they ask a repeat unit, don't put a bracket.
Sir, but why did you open CH3?
I can make CH3 open. That because they did not say draw displayed formula of a polymer. That's why. If they ask draw a displayed formula, yes, I have to open the board of CH3. No, if you in this one, you will not lose a mark here. Even you draw three hydrogen together with carbon or separately. Like if you draw the same structure by putting these hydrogens separate, it does not make difference. So it's important whenever you want to draw an additional polymer, so first redraw the structure. Your monomer should appear like letter H. So here one chlorine, so we put chlorine, one hydrogen, we put hydrogen, one hydrogen, we put hydrogen, and then CH3, so we put CH3. And then draw the same structure but without a double bond twice and link them together. Figure 5.3 shows a part of a structure of a protein. Name a type of a monomer used to make a protein, so amino acids.
Right, this is last my brain forgot
The linkage, what we call this C double bonded with an N, we call that as a amide, or you can also say peptide linkage. Amide linkage or a peptide linkage, the same linkage. Amide is C double bonded with O and N. That is called amide. When carbon double bonded with oxygen and single bonded with nitrogen, this is called amide.
I'm saying amine.
Amine is NH and nitrogen combined with carbon chain. That's called amide. Yes. Polypeptide means the polymer which is containing a peptide linkage, which is also known as nylon. Natural poly yes. Name a linkage in protein, amide linkage or peptide linkage. Linkage means type of bond, this bond. How they are linked with each other. This bond is specifically called carbohydrate is the ester linkage is there. Yeah.
It's only O.
No, carbohydrate oxy linkage. Fats ester linkage. Fats is oxy linkage. The next is the equation for a Haber's process. The equation for a Haber process used in a production of ammonia. Nitrogen from this process comes from air. State the percentage by volume of a nitrogen. So what is the percentage of a nitrogen? 78%. Source of a hydrogen. So you can say hydrocarbon. Or you can also say Methane. Yes?
Sir, I wrote solve the first one.
Which first one?
The steps AI. AI?
No steps are there. It is
AI.
just we have to state the percentage of nitrogen.
How did you get?
You have to memorize the percentage of nitrogen in our atmosphere is 78%.
71.
78. Oxygen on Earth it is
So what about it for argon? It's 78. Sir, why you wrote it 70?
78. 78.
So what about argon? Sir, for
78.
Sir, for AI, I wrote methane, but I also I know in the oxygen and the others are.
Where we get methane from? Methane is from the fraction distillation of the crude oil.
Prepared methane.
Crack methane.
Sir, how do they know that if it's a methane? I know. Tell you.
Different substances have different rate of diffusion. So measuring the rate of diffusion, measuring the mass spectrometer, identify
What is the formula for
CH4. The forward reaction in the Haber process is exothermic. Explain in terms of the bond making and a bond forming why. Look, bond making is what? Bond making is exothermic, okay? When the bond form, bond making is exo and bond breaking is endo. So why this reaction is exothermic? Because the bond making is exothermic, bond breaking is endothermic, bond forming is exothermic. So in this reaction, the reaction bond making is more than the bond forming.
सर किसी को भी रिकॉर्ड ना करें I want to सर अलाउ क्या हम सर मोहम्मद अफजल हमारे सर इसको पकड़े सर इसको कूदे ग्राफिटी वाला पीछे बैठ एफबीआई ऊपर सर ग्राफिटी वाला
Okay, the reaction bond making energy is more than bond breaking. So you have to list that. 1 mark is for referring the type of reaction. Bond breaking is endo, bond forming or bond making is exo. And because the bond making energy is more than bond forming, that's why the overall reaction is exothermic. Yes, you can also say more energy is released in a bond making than compared to bond forming.
I wrote this here.
But no need to relate because in the question explain in terms of bond making and bond forming. So you're no need to relate the energy of the particles that the reactant have more energy and the product have less energy. No need to relate that point. Why you don't have to relate that point? Because they specify, explain in terms of the bond making and bond forming. So they just want your answer in terms of these terms. The thermal energy, the transfer of thermal energy in a chemical reaction is called enthalpy change. Write a symbol for enthalpy change and include the sign of exothermic enthalpy change. So enthalpy change is delta H, and for exothermic reaction enthalpy change is negative. Yes. You can put
What is correct? Delta H or delta E? There are two. Delta E is the activation, right?
E is normally used for activation, but I did accept, but write delta H. That is the standard. H is the enthalpy
So
standard.
is it delta A activation?
EA is activation.
E is sports.
Yeah, EA sports.
In Google they're saying too. After I checked after the paper. So may I just open this one?
Yes, sir.
Can I Google show? Thank you.
Aqueous ammonia is alkaline.
I want also ammonium nitrate.
One at a time, just wait.
Ammonium nitrate.
Aqueous ammonia is alkali. Aqueous ammonia react with a nitric acid to form a salt. So when a nitric acid mixes with ammonia, so it will form ammonium salt and it will be ammonium nitrate. So if it was a sulfuric acid, it will produce ammonium sulfate. Not ammonia nitrate, it should be ammonium nitrate.
Yeah, because NH4.
NH4 is there. Name the experimental technique used to make a solution of this salt from a dilute acid and aqueous ammonia. Like acid is already aqueous and ammonia is also aqueous. Like whenever aqueous acid and alkali are mixed, what we call this technique? We call titration. So titration is a technique in which two solutions. One is acid, one is alkaline. Mix and we identify how much acid is reacted with an alkali to produce a salt. Okay?
In which chapter is titration?
Titration is in the topic acid, alkali, and the salt.
Also, acid, then base, salt.
Yeah, the last chapter as well. A dilute ethanoic acid react with calcium hydroxide. A student reacted 25 cm cube of 0.0 mole per dm cube of a calcium hydroxide with a dilute ethanoic acid using thymol pethylene as an indicator. 12.5 cm cube of ethanoic acid reacted exactly with 0.01 mole of calcium hydroxide. We need the concentration of ethanoic acid. First, we'll find the moles of calcium hydroxide. How to get the moles of calcium hydroxide?
Moles of calcium hydroxide.
Moles of calcium hydroxide. So if you need the moles of calcium hydroxide, concentration times the volume. Yes?
What's the use of Avogadro's law?
Avogadro's constant shows that 1 mole of any substance contains 6.02 exponent 23 particles. So if you need a number of particles, you multiply by the moles by the Avogadro's constant, you get the number of particles, number of atoms, molecules.
Current second of all the more question, the answer was 1. So if they
So
ask
0.01 times 12.5 divided by 1000. What is the answer? 0.01 times 12.5 divided by 1000.
1 times
Yep. 0.01 multiplied by 12.5 divided by 1000.
0.00125.
0.0.250.
You get 1.000, then 125. 1.25 divided by minus 1. Yes.
Okay, that's the same. Yeah. So we got 0.000125. That is, these are the moles of calcium hydroxide. Now, from moles of calcium hydroxide, we'll find the moles of ethanoic acid by using a ratio. So, according to equation, ethanoic acid and calcium hydroxide, what is the ratio? 2:1. If there are 2 moles, this will give 1. If we have calcium hydroxide, how many moles are there? 0.000125. So, how many moles are there? X. Cross multiply. So, this 0.000125 divided by 2. What's the answer? Multiply by 2, I mean. Times 2.
0.00.
What are the number of the moles?
0.00250.
250 moles.
Just double the
Yeah,
number.
that's double the number. So
0.5 right?
now we got the mole. These are the moles of ethanoic acid. The question is concentration. If we need the concentration is moles divided by volume. How many moles of ethanoic acid are there? 0.0025 divided by the volume of ethanoic acid. A student react 25 cm. Student reacted. Sorry, the first case there's a small mistake. I use this should be the volume I should use because that is the volume of calcium hydroxide.
Okay.
I thought 12.5 is the volume. No problem, but I have to explain.
Error carried forward.
Error carried. I will get the error carried forward. But 25 into 0.01 divided by 1000. What's the answer? And no one corrected is even if you see how focused everyone is. 25 into 0.01 divided by 1000. Because this is a one.
Same likhe par khali 25. 125. Only 25.
3 zeros and 25?
Yeah.
So then this will be
2.5 multiplied by 10 power minus 4.
So when it is multiplied, this will become 0.5. This will be how much? 0.5?
0.005.
Yeah, 0.005. And we have 0.005. And what about the volume? Volume of ethanoic acid, the 12.5 cm cube of ethanoic acid. So this will be divided 12.5 cm cube. We have to convert into decimeter cube, so divide by 1000. So it will be 12.5 into 10 to the power minus. Yeah. What is the final answer? 0.005 divided by 12.5 x. Yeah.
Multiply 1000.
Divide, no.
4 multiplied by 10 power minus 10 power minus. Sir, 4 multiplied by 10 power minus.
Calculation from where, sir?
Because you need a
2 marks के लिए
What's the answer? 0.005? Yeah, look.
10 power minus 7. Sir, you confused me.
4 into 10 power minus 7. No, I don't think so. Do 0.005
0.005
divided by 12.5.
multiply by 10.
No, first do 12, divide by 12.5. Then divide by 1000.
Divide by 1000.
Hmm.
1 multiply 10 power minus 7.
Same.
Yes, sir.
Look, does not look. Concentration, mole per dm cube. So first,
Sir, you not trust me, sir.
first moles is concentration time volume. We got the moles of sodium hydroxide.
What if they ask us for 1 mole of
1 mole of ethanoic acid, then yeah.
Then what is pipette 50 filler? What?
Pipette is used to fill up 25 cm cube.
50 sir.
No, it's just because if you use a pipette, you have to suck the liquid out from the flask. So that safety filler, pipette filler is there.
10 power minus 7 से करते हैं आप 3.4
No, 4 exponent minus 7 is not 0.4. Shade the color of thymol pethylene in what is the color of thymol pethylene in alkaline medium? It is colorless in acidic and alkaline it is phenolphthalein. Phenolphthaleine is colorless. Phenolphthaleine is colorless in acidic and alkaline. Alkaline it is pink. Thymol pethylene is blue in color. Thymol pethylene. Ethanoic acid is a weak acid. So define weak in a phrase. So weak acid means ionized partially. Ionized partially or break down partially.
Can we tell its pH? Sir, मैंने pH mention की.
Term weak. You just have to explain the phrase weak.
Find the term.
Does not fully ionize. Yes, that is also right. Write a formula for the ion present in aqueous solution of acid. So which ion is present? So H plus. If you write H only, H plus is there. If you use the term dissociate, ionize partially, dissociate partially, break down partially, these are all correct terms.
Do not fully. But I mentioned pH.
Does not fully dissociate is also.
But I mentioned pH.
No, yeah, because you have to explain the phrase.
Define the term.
pH is not defining. No, pH is to identify whether it's a weak acid or alkali or a strong acid or alkali, but not defining the term. Calculate the volume measured at room temperature and pressure for carbon dioxide produced by 3.1 grams of sodium carbonate. So first, we want to find the moles of the sodium carbonate, moles of a sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, that is a mass in gram, which is 3.18 divided by molar mass. Molar mass of a sodium carbonate, sodium is 23, multiplied by 2, because 2 atoms are there, plus carbon is 12, plus oxygen is 16 times 3. So this will be 3.18, 46 plus 12 plus 48. What's the final answer? 60 plus 46, 106. Yeah, D part. 16.
0.03.
Final answer? So 0.03 mole we will get for sodium carbonate. From moles of sodium carbonate, we'll get the moles of carbon dioxide, but here the ratio is 1:1. So if you have ratio 1:1, so the 0.03 will give us the same number of moles, so we'll get the moles of carbon dioxide. Now we need the volume in cm cube. For moles of a gas, the volume in dm cube divided by 24. That's for gases. So 0.03 volume in dm cube divided by 24. 24 is divided other side. Multiply. So 0.03 times 24.
0.72.
0.72. But this is 0.72 decimeter cube, because whenever you use this formula, you get the answer in decimeter cube. You need in cm cube. How to convert the decimeter cube into centimeter cube? You multiply by 1000. So this will become 720 centimeter cube. So first, you will find the moles of sodium carbonate. From moles of sodium carbonate, you will find moles of carbon dioxide. From moles of the carbon dioxide, you will find the volume of carbon dioxide in dm cube. And to dm cube to cm cube, you just multiply by 1000. Sulfur dioxide contribute to acid rain. State one source of a sulfur dioxide in air. Sulfur containing or burning of the fossil fuel or combustion of the fossil fuel. So burning of a fossil fuels release sulfur into the atmosphere, sulfur dioxide. Describe one method reducing amount of a sulfur dioxide getting into the air. So what we can use any basic oxide or desulfurization of the flue gases.
Calcium oxide.
So what we can do, we can react this with any basic oxide such as
Calcium oxide.
calcium oxide.
Yeah, say I do that.
So react with the basic oxide because sulfur dioxide is an acidic oxide. Acidic oxide can react with the base. Yes.
What is the difference? You said that it is the same, like sulfur dioxide met one source, like with why is it written in air? What is the difference?
No, sulfur dioxide is state one source of a sulfur dioxide in air. How sulfur dioxide present in air? That is the question. How sulfur dioxide?
The beds of sulfur in the ground. No, but you said it's so what if we write
You said
bed of
if it's
sulfur
like if it
in the
says
ground?
with one source of sulfur dioxide, and you said it's the same answer, burning of fossil. So why they mentioning there if it's the same answer?
Sure, beds of
Like you
sulfur
mix
in
this.
the
If the question is sulfur dioxide, that's fine. Because sulfur dioxide is present in air. What is the source of sulfur dioxide which is in air?
Sir, what?
The source of sulfur dioxide in air. That is what you have to.
Sir, I was about to write burning fossil fuel, but after I read the part in air, I didn't write it. Sir,
But instead of leaving the question, better write something. Hmm?
Leaving the question.
No, don't leave the question.
Then what should I?
Write what you think of. Don't leave the questions.
I just someone I can read this.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Write at least something. Something is better than nothing.
I will write something.
Sir, what is the percentage of sulfur dioxide in air?
Sulfur dioxide is not naturally present. It is only in a polluted air.
If it is, then what is the percentage?
0%. 0%. It is only present because of our activities. Sulfur dioxide is also present in air by the volcanoes. Volcanic eruptions also produce sulfur dioxide. Yeah, there is some, but it's not like the variation. If you take a sample of a sulfur dioxide here, you don't find a very low sample, close to zero. Yeah. So you can also say volcanoes also, volcanic eruptions also release sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere.
Both area में जाके variation.
Yes, that you will get a higher value. Ethanoic acid is manufactured from methanol. The forward reaction is exothermic. Predict and explain effect on the position of equilibrium when the pressure decrease. Whenever we decrease the pressure, equilibrium will shift towards side of a less moles or more moles.
More.
More moles. The thing is, no one is doing correction. That is why I want. Yeah. Okay. So equilibrium shift towards side of more moles. Here we have 1 + 1, 2 moles, and here we have 1 mole. So when we decrease the pressure, equilibrium shift towards side of more moles. So in this case, predict and explain the position of equilibrium.
Left-hand side.
Yes, you can say left or backward.
Sir, how much time did we give to chapter 4 and revision?
It depends on the
3
topic.
hours.
Yeah. Shift to left because more moles of a gas.
No, short forms are.
No, not short form. Then exam also they will write. Okay, in exam instead of giving you 2 marks, they will write like this short form.
Sir, when I was practicing शादी खुलने वाली थी मेरे पास टाइम ही नहीं था. Sir, what is dry hydrogen?
Sorry, कैसे
Dry? Dry hydrogen?
In marking scheme and chapter first they wrote G. आया था.
Predict and explain the effect. This we did in the class. If any in the position of equilibrium when the temperature decrease, so the forward reaction is exothermic. For exothermic reactions, whenever you decrease the temperature, the balance will shift towards right hand side. So equilibrium will shift toward the right hand side because the forward reaction is exothermic.
is one online paper method define equilibrium.
Rate of forward equals to rate of backward. No change in concentration.
Sir, I don't know change in concentration of product to reaction. सर तो उसकी 3 मार्क होने चाहिए उसने 1-2 मार्क
No, 1 mark is for rate of forward equals to backward. 1 mark is for no change in concentration.
Bacterial oxidation तरीका है वैसे.
Ethanoic acid can be produced by bacterial oxidation. Bacteria can also do oxidation. Describe one other method making ethanoic acid. No, the question is what? Question is other method other than ethanoic acid can be produced by bacterial oxidation. Describe other method, other how we can prepare this ethanoic acid by oxidation. So oxidation other than methanol. So what we can do name of alcohol, which alcohol we can oxidize? Ethanol. And oxidizing. No. Name.
Yeah.
Name. NaM. Name. The question is what? The oxidizing agent should be what? Potassium
Manganate.
manganate. But don't forget to write the name, the or Roman number. Potassium manganate 7. So it's very important. If you write potassium manganate, that is not even, and the right term is acidified potassium manganate. Yeah. Acidified potassium oxidizing agent is acidified potassium manganate 7. It's very important. If you write only potassium manganate, you will lose the mark. So 7 is also important thing. Okay. Yes.
सर मेरी गलती बार बार यही मैग्नेट बार इस तरह आ रहा है मैग्नेट याद ही नहीं
Manganate.
मैग्नेट
Spelling mistakes का वो नहीं छोड़ देते हैं.
Why do we include acidified? Because this oxidizing agent work effectively in acidic condition. That's why we have to mention acidified. Yes.
Do they cut the marks for spelling?
No.
सर कैसे
It generally not
सर
marks is
सर अगर आप एथेनॉल की जगह इथेनॉल लिख दो ई लगा दो
वो तो अलग है.
that is like some terminology should be fixed, but it's not like you're doing lot of spelling mistake. Yes, you will lose a mark, but not in that.
ऐसे अगर सोचो.
So ethanoic acid react with propanol to produce an ester. Name the ester and draw the displayed formula. So alcohol, the first name is always from alcohol and the second name is from carboxylic acid. So it will be propyl ethanoid. No, it should be because the first name is. Now we want to draw an ester. So it is C double bonded with O and O. Prop means 3 carbon, so we have to draw 3 carbon on one with a single bond, and eth means 2. One is already there. We drew a second one, and this will have 3 hydrogens. This will have 2 hydrogens. This will have 2 hydrogens, and this will have 3 hydrogen. They said displayed formula, so displayed formula means I have to show all the bonds and all the atoms.
Carboxylic linkage. Carboxylic linkage, sir.
No. Ester linkage.
How say
Ester. C double bonded with ON is called ester linkage, not carboxylic. Table 9.1 shows a melting temperature and the relative electrical conductivities. Use idea about structure and a balding to explain difference in the melting point of a magnesium and phosphorus. So, no, it's a non-metal. So magnesium, magnesium is metal.
Magnesium is a metal, it has more strong.
It has metallic bond.
Ionic bond.
Metallic bond.
Metallic.
Metallic bond between the lattice of positive ions.
Sir, can we write strong bonds? I think I got told in this question.
Positive lattice of positive ions in sea of electron
Strong forces between the
compared to phosphorus.
Which is a covalent bond which has
Sir, you have to write in
weak
C of
intermolecular
de-polarized electrons. Delocalized.
Delocalized. So compared to phosphorus, which is simple molecular structure,
It has a weaker molecular structure.
simple molecular.
Yes, same thing.
No.
Molecular, simple.
Yeah, simple or yeah, molecular structure. You can also say, we can say greater energy is needed.
And can we write strong bonds instead of metallic bonds?
What?
Can we write strong bonds?
Electrostatic. You have to use the term electro. If you say, don't say metallic, then say
Can we
electrostatic.
say intermolecular forces
No.
as strong?
You have to specify the type.
How did I get 60 marks?
Greater energy is needed to separate the ions in or
Sir, they didn't give this much time, sir. Sir, you need to. Sir, you need to say more.
Allah ki kasam. Wallahi say 2 words. Can I get marks for 2 words?
yes, you can use the term attraction forces as well. Strong attraction forces or a structure.
Why can't we write intermolecular forces?
Intermolecular force, we use the term for the molecules. Metals are not molecules. Metals are ions. Positive and negative oppositely charged ions are there. There are no molecule. Molecule, the term molecule means group of atom. Metals are not having atoms. They are ions. So you cannot say particle is a very general term. So you're not supposed to use that.
Graphite has a.
In different. No, I gave you that additional because you were losing lot of marks, so I gave marks here, so it will balance them. The difference in electrical conductivity of a graphite and phosphorus. So electrical conductivity, no,
Good.
graphite is having a delocalized electron,
Yeah.
free
it has
electron
a
as
layer
compared to
structure.
layer
So it has-
structure, and the delocalized electron as compared to phosphorus. Then diamond and graphite are different forms of a carbon explained in terms of structure and bonding. Why diamond is used for cutting tool.
But it,
So-
it doesn't have a layer structure, so its layers cannot slide over
Yeah.
each other.
So diamond, yeah, why it is hard because it diamond each covalent bonds are there.
But
In
they
a-
did not ask me. They
The-
did not ask to compare it from graphite.
Yes, explain why diamond is used.
You have to compare. Diamond and graphite are different.
They said why-
See, diamond and graphite are different forms of carbon. Why diamond is hard? So you will say diamond because it does not have a layer structure. Because it to be hard, it should not have a layer structure. Because if it was having a layer structure, the layers can slide over each other. So strong covalent bonding, yes, you have to use. The question is use an idea of the structure and the bonding. So you will say diamond, each carbon form 4 covalent bond, then does have a tetrahedral structure that is a specific name. That's why it is hard and rigid as compared to graphite. You don't have to say about graphite. You have to compare why it is hard. So why it is hard? Because it does not have a layer structure.
It is covalently bonded.
Covalent, strong covalent, giant covalent structure is there and which is not layered. Otherwise, if a giant covalent structure is layered, the substance will be not hard. It will be soft like graphite. Then the last one, empirical formula. You have a phosphorus, you have oxygen, and you have a chlorine. The phosphorus is 20.2, oxygen is 10.4, and chlorine is 69.4. First, you divide by atomic mass. So atomic mass is 31, oxygen is 16, and this is 35.5. What is the answer? 20.2 divided by 31. What's the answer?
16.
No, it cannot be 16. 20.2 divided by 31.
6.5.
Sir, 0.
Cannot be 6.
Oh yeah, so देखा.
0.65. 10.4 divided by 16.
0.6.
Yes, 0.65.
65.
69.4 divided by 35.
Randomly number.
Then we divide by smallest.
0.65.
We divide by smallest value in the combination 0.65, 0.65, and 0.65. So this will be 1, 1, and
3.
3. So the formula 1 phosphorus, 1 oxygen, and 3 chlorine. POCl 3.
If I HCl
Because-
OP.
The order, look, how to know the order. The order you write always in terms of the groups. Like example, if element is group 1, you write first, then group 2,
Oh.
group 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is the way of following. Like example, phosphorus belongs to group 5, oxygen belongs to group 6, chlorine belongs to group 7. So we write in order of the groups, like as we move in the periodic table. Okay. But if you write, like example, Cl, 3, O, and P, this is not wrong. Because they mainly needed the the atoms rather than their order. But the way to write is we write according to the group.
So can we write OH2? OH2?
Why you will write OH2? Hydrogen you find here in the periodic table.
Hydrogen is in the middle. No.
Hydrogen is placed because the hydrogen position is still debatable. Some of the chemists still believe the hydrogen should be in a group 1. Some say it should be in group 4. Some say group 7.
Why
Sir, what do you believe?
I don't
Unwanted
believe in any.
chance.
Like you can see here.
Just three.
So this was a set 1.
So now you